Hey, tonight we got a special guest. Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Uh, my Madden tournament friend. No, but all jokes aside, we got a special guest tonight. He goes by the name of Owen Brown. And for my audience, I think his story would be good for us to get some inspiration, not only as a person of color, but as somebody that's into a professional art that most people don't know about. They just have heard about it. What's going on, Owen?
Not much, not much. How you doing today, Q?
All right. So let the audience know who you are. You're not just Owen Brown from Connecticut. Where'd you grow up at?
Like you said, I am just Owen Brown from Connecticut. No, I was born and raised in Stamford, Connecticut, which is pretty close to New York. I got involved in Taekwondo actually by accident. My older brother and I used to love watching those Kung Fu movies on Saturdays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we actually mistook Taekwondo for Kung Fu because, Taekwondo does incorporate a lot of high flying kicks and things of that nature. So, we got started down there at Lee School of Judo and Karate on the Post Road in Darien, Connecticut in 1976. And been there ever since.
So you've been how long have you been competing professionally in Taekwondo?
Well, remember, it's not professionally because
Okay.
although basketball allows professional athletes to compete in the Olympics, we're not considered professionals. We're still considered amateurs. But I've been competing since I was 7 years old.
Wow.
7 years old is when I won my first tournament as a mini Pee Wee champion. And actually it was at Stamford High School in Stamford, Connecticut.
So
and
when
then,
when most people see you into Taekwondo, what's their first reaction, you think?
oh, he's big and slow.
Let the audience know how tall you are.
I'm 6'4",
6'4".
255.
So you said you got into Taekwondo at a young age, and then that was the only like the athletics that you did in school?
No, actually, both my brother and myself were either 2 or 3 sport athletes. I played football in high school and college, and also did track and field, the field events, shot put, discus, and javelin.
Where'd you go to college at?
So my freshman year, I was at Heidelberg, and then I finished at Southern Connecticut State.
Okay. So name some of the places that Taekwondo has taken Owen Brown from Connecticut.
I'll start with last summer and work my way backwards, if that's okay.
That's great. That's great.
All right. Well, last summer I was in Italy for the European Masters Games. What the European Masters Games are is basically the Olympic Games for any athlete who's 35 and older who wants to continue to compete at a very high level. Previous to that, I've been all over the United States. I mean, there's the only state that I have, 2 states that I have not touched is Alaska and Hawaii. I've also competed in England. I've competed in, England, France, and that's probably it internationally, because a lot of the international tournaments actually took place here in the United States. Just most recently, I competed at the U.S. Open down in Florida, which is the world's largest open Taekwondo tournament.
So most people know about Taekwondo, I guess, through Steven Seagal, because he's like the most famous person that most people would know.
Well,
But
actually, that's a mistake.
Okay, he doesn't really know Taekwondo though, right?
Right, that's correct. Steven Seagal is a Kempo artist.
Okay. And
But
what's the difference between that and Taekwondo?
Kempo is a very strong foundational martial art that uses an opponent's momentum or strength against them. Whereas Taekwondo, you have, I would say, 80% kicking and maybe 20% punching.
Yeah, because I noticed in the video you act like you ain't want to kick the little guy, man. So, so let me ask you: is it when you're competing? Is it by weight class?
Yes, it is. You have, just like with boxing, it goes from, what is it, bantamweight all the way up to heavyweight. Heavyweight starts at 196 and is infinite.
So I noticed with one of the pictures that I had to get off of your Facebook page that you
Uh-oh.
stood at you stood at the top of the podium. What does that mean?
I stood at the top of the podium because
Yeah,
that's
it
where I
was
belonged.
what so for medaling, how many times have you won a gold medal? One time?
Oh, no. That I was saying that was first place. That's why I was standing
Okay.
at the top. But gold medals, in all honesty, I couldn't count the number, and it's not because I wouldn't want to. I've just never done it. I've been very fortunate throughout my life to win a number of gold medals, and I think the one that truly started it off for me was when I was 16, when I won Junior Olympics, which was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then a couple years later, when the first time I placed at the senior division, I started fighting men's division when I was 13, because I've been this same size since I was 13. So after I won Junior Olympics, they told me I couldn't come back.
Wow. So man, you won numerous amount of gold medals. Like, how do you feel? Like, are you like one of the known minorities that's in the taekwondo?
There are a large number of known minorities, and I have had the pleasure and benefit of getting to know them. There are lots of known minorities, but for my age group, I would definitely say yes.
Have you ever thought about opening up a school?
When I was younger, I thought about it, but there's a lot that goes into owning a school. Just like there's a lot that goes into owning a restaurant.
Insurance.
Exactly, and they're one and the same. There's a lot of liability, and these days it's a lot different than it was back when I was young.
And
So
going forward with this, what's going on with the pandemic is probably going to be even higher when
exactly,
it comes to liability.
exactly.
So what's on the horizon? Hopefully, when the country opens back up for Owen.
Well, when the country opens back up, get back to training, getting ready. Originally, before the pandemic started, I was getting ready for nationals, which was going to be in Las Vegas, which was also the qualifier for the first ultra national team, which would be make me eligible to compete at the actual Olympics. Since the Olympics were pushed back, obviously all the qualifying tournaments have been pushed back as well. So I'm going to get back to preparation to compete at those tournaments to hopefully qualify.
What would you suggest? What would some of your advice that you would give someone that would want to get into Taekwondo?
Some of the advice that I would give is, first and foremost, find a school or an instructor that you feel comfortable with, that you trust, that bring a close friend or family member and have them also speak with that individual and see how they feel. Because if you don't trust someone and you're not comfortable, you're not really going to learn very well. You'll just be going through the motions. And stick to it. Don't give up. Anything that's worth having is worth the hard work that you have to put in.
Yeah, I know that you said you're 6'4", so I know a lot of people probably be like, this guy ain't flexible. He probably he might be out of shape." And you come in and you start kicking. I seen a couple roundhouses, man. I was like, wow, Owen moving, man. For anybody that's watching, I'll put Owen's video back in the group so people can watch his video and check it. Check Owen move out. He was moving out in this video. Is there anything else you like to share with us, Owen? Who's your favorite football team, by the way?
Pittsburgh Steelers, die
Oh,
hard.
okay. Just checking. Did you like y'all draft?
Actually, I did. I really did. And like I was telling Reggie, when I start running with the new running back that we just drafted, it's going to be a whole different story.
Okay. Well, we'll have time to talk about that. Hopefully, we have another tournament soon. But we don't have to be interview. Don't have to go too long if you don't have nothing else to share. I mean, my guests probably wondering. You're I could say that you're a different type of person, I guess, because a lot of times people may not realize that it is black men into Taekwondo or into the arts. Like I told you, in the town that I grew up in, it was Kenny Gartman. I'm
Okay.
surprised Reggie never told you about him. He's like,
I'm surprised too, tell you the truth.
yeah, Karate Hall of Fame. He had a school for a minute. He's still
Okay.
around. He's still around too. So he's like the pride and joy of the town when it comes to karate.
That's
But
nice. That's real nice.
but if you don't have nothing else, man, I appreciate your time. I know you got precious time right now because we're older. We like to get to bed a little early.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't thank you enough for having me. It was truly a pleasure.
Definitely, anytime, and I appreciate you, Owen. I thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right.